episode of Sweet Science of Chocolate, where we talk about all things chocolate. This is Christy.
And this is Maya. And on today's episode, we are going to make a salted vegan chocolate chip cookie. If you remember from our previous episode, we made Maya's famous chocolate chip cookies. And today we are going to make mine, which are vegan. One thing I love about this recipe is that all the ingredients are actually weighed. So what I have found is you can double, triple, cut in half, and make it as many or as few as you want, and it always turns out exactly the same because you're just increasing or decreasing your measurements.
And where did you get this inspiration from?
I actually came across this website on Food 52, and it was from Everly's Ovens, I believe.
Yeah.
And they are famous for these chocolate chip cookies. And I have taken it and added a few moderations and adapted it a little, such as changing the quantity of chocolate chips. I really believe chocolate chip cookies need vanilla in them, so I added vanilla and played with the brown sugars a little, and that's it.
So here are the ingredients in general, because I know when a lot of people hear about vegan stuff, they think, oh my gosh, do I need all these different ingredients, or do I need to go to a special place and buy ingredients? So in general, what you're going to need for these cookies are all-purpose flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, dark chocolate chips, just because we like dark chocolate chips, but I suppose you could probably use milk chocolate or semi-sweet, sugar, brown sugar, coconut oil, water, and vanilla.
Correct. So the one thing that is a little different is we're missing like the egg, which you don't even need.
Butter.
And the butter.
And the butter. No egg or no butter.
No egg, no butter. And so one thing for these is we're going to be using coconut oil, melted coconut oil. Thank goodness we are at Maya's doing this because Maya has a microwave. And so I'm going to ask Maya to actually just microwave this so it's liquid, so it's ready for us when we need it.
Okay.
So you can pop that in the microwave and just melt that up. All right, so Maya microwaved the coconut oil. There was about probably half a jar of coconut oil in here, and it took about 30 seconds. She gave it a few stirs while microwaving it. Other than that, it is completely melted. So for this, what I'm going to be showing you here is I actually am cutting the recipe in half because we just didn't need to have that many cookies. So what I have here is 125 grams of all-purpose flour.
Which is about
a
little more than a half a cup.
Yeah, like
right?
About a cup.
A cup.
About a cup, yep.
Yeah, 140 grams is a cup, I believe.
Then what we're going to put in here is I have the baking powder, which is a half a teaspoon.
And do you know why you need baking powder and baking soda?
Maya's going to tell me.
No, I don't. I'm asking you.
No.
I know chocolate.
No.
I would think it has something to do with the rise of the cookies, since you're not.
We'll
I don't
figure
know.
that one out. Maybe.
Because most cookies only use one or the other.
Maybe someone can DM
Let us know.
So I am adding a quarter of a teaspoon and then another eighth of baking powder into this. I need a quarter of a teaspoon salt. And we're going to put this in this bowl right here. Then in the other bowl, we are going to add our brown sugar, which is 55 grams.
That's white sugar. Isn't this it?
Oh yeah.
That's the white sugar.
This is the brown sugar, 55 grams of brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar, and that's fine too. You're going to end up with a little darker cookie. 55 grams of that. 50 grams of regular cane sugar. Put that in there.
And you can use the white sugar that you get at the grocery store.
The vanilla, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla.
I'm assuming your coconut oil.
And the coconut oil, we need a quarter cup of coconut oil, liquid coconut oil. And then we need a teaspoon and a half.
Oh boy.
It's a little exact here. And then the final thing is you need to add some water.
How much water?
We need 2.5 tablespoons of water.
1, 2. There you go.
And then Maya's gonna give this, you want to whisk this up so that it's all incorporated. I usually recommend about a minute or 2. Really stir those sugars, get the oil mixed in with the water and
Do
the
you
sugar.
ever use an electric mixer?
I don't, I do it all by hand. Sometimes I use a whisk and just sit there and whip it for a little bit. You just really want to incorporate it. I also like to add my chocolate chips to the flour and stir those in too.
Here's a fun fact.
Sorry, Maya.
Not that you're not baking these, right? No, you
No,
bake.
not baking.
No, you're not baking them. If you add chocolate chips in with the flour, like when you're making cookies or brownies and you want to add like more chocolate chips, if you coat them in just a little bit of flour, the chocolate chips will hold their shape and they won't melt into the recipe. So again, you're not baking these, so it doesn't really matter, but is that good?
That looks great. So the oil and the sugars have combined, and then I just put it all together. And the one thing I like about this recipe is I don't need to get my mixer out. It's pretty simple for cleanup. You just stir it all together, and you don't want to over mix it. The one thing then we're going to do with this dough is we are going to put this, once we get it stirred, we're going to pop this into the refrigerator, and I leave it in the refrigerator just while I'm cleaning up. And the reason, it's only maybe 15 minutes. I put it in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes because right now it's a little soft. So when I try to form my balls for the cookies, I find that they kind of just collapse on me. If I give it just a second in the refrigerator, it hardens up slightly, and then I can make my balls. The secret to this recipe is you must let the dough sit for 12 to 24 hours. You let it
After you put it in the balls.
After you put it, I put it into the balls because I have found that if I make it ahead of time and I just put it in the refrigerator, it gets hard. And then I'm trying to scoop the balls and nothing wants to work.
Okay.
So I have found that pre-making the balls and then letting them sit is the easiest way to let it go. And so I'm going to just put this in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes and then we'll make the balls. We need just like 15 minutes. All right, so the dough has come out of the refrigerator and it was in there maybe 15 minutes. But you can see that it's already starting to harden up, but how easy it is to make these balls. And I have found that this is the best way to just pop them in the refrigerator and let them sit. Also, I'm using a big scoop. I kind of have this belief that if you're gonna make a cookie, you might as well make a cookie and have something to eat.
Yeah.
You know, you can make these as big or small as you want, but
And as we were cleaning up, I thought these were her no-bake cookies, and we weren't on the same page. She's not baking them today, so when she said you didn't bake them.
no, I'm not baking them today. I'm baking them tomorrow.
But they do get baked.
yes.
Okay, but you do have a recipe for also no-bake.
No baked chocolate
Raw.
chip cookies.
Yeah,
And that'll
so-
be coming in another episode.
Right. So sorry, we talked too many different recipes too long. So
So the size that I have here came out of this scoop, and it actually does make a cookie about, what'd you say, about 2.5 inches in diameter. And you can see that these are thick. They got some, good inch to them right there. So they're a nice, soft cookie like that. And so I'm just gonna take these and I put them in on my parchment paper. And then we're just gonna refrigerate these. They just sit in the refrigerator for 12 to 24 hours, and that's it. And you can take them out and bake them at 350 for, I would say, about 12 minutes. Don't go any longer. You really want them to sit on the cookie sheet for a couple minutes when you pull them out, and they'll finish baking up. Just don't over bake them.
and why are we keeping them in the refrigerator overnight or?
We're gonna refrigerate the dough because it helps let the gluten relax a little, and all the flavors come together. Like it allows the brown sugar and the sugar flavor to kind of melt together, and you get
vanilla.
a really delicious recipe. I have a 6-year-old, and she loves to just eat this dough, and I feel pretty good because it doesn't have the eggs in it, so she can just sit and nibble on it. That is usually a battle we have. So I just take them, I put them in a Rubbermaid container, and I just stick them in the refrigerator like that. And then it takes, the next day you're 15 minutes and your cookies are done.
Right, and that's what you have.
And that's what you have right there.
Can I try?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to try one. So, do you tell people that they're vegan?
No, I never tell anybody that anything I make is vegan. First let them try it, and then I'll tell them.
It's really good. And there is no way you would know it's vegan.
Yeah. And I have even in the past not had coconut oil and tried it with olive oil, canola oil. I've swapped out my oils and have not had a problem at all.
I really, the one thing I really don't like is coconut.
Oh, that's right.
And I hate coconut, and I can't taste it at all. And I'm usually really like, oh, I'm gonna taste the coconut. Not
Really?
at all.
No taste?
Not at all.
That's great. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Coconut. So, these are awesome.
Yeah.
These are awesome. So, hey, if you know any tips and tricks that you want to share with us, please let us know. Look down below, and we have where you can find us. Reach out, give us a shout. If you're going to make these, please tag us. That would be great. We want to see what you're doing. The recipe will also be posted below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, please, so we can keep going and keep doing this. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Pinterest. We're going to be on Pinterest pretty soon, so you can have all of our recipes as well.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Sweet Science of Chocolate, where everything we talk about is chocolate. All these recipes are available on our website, The Sweet Science of Chocolate.
Remember,
Everything's better with chocolate. Well, not bad.
they're really good.
You like them?
Mm-hmm.